Don't mention it. Pagan devils invade your KJV. Today's topic, Easter. And in all things I have said unto you, take heed, and make no mention of the name of other rulers, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Shamut, Exodus 23:13. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. 1 Maccabees 3:48. The pagan collaborators of the KJV repeated history once again, but instead of painting the images of their rulers inside Yahuah's word, they simply wrote their names and attributes. But should Easter be celebrated by true believers in Baranu, Yahuah Yahshay? It's research time. Acts 12, 1 through 5, KJV. Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. He killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. Did you notice before the pagan name Easter was invoked, the days of unleavened bread were mentioned? So what were considered the days of unleavened bread in the true Berit Hadashah? Let's find out. Shamut, Exodus 12, 1 through 8. Yahuah's name restored. And Yahuah spake unto Moshe and Aharon in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months, and it shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Yasharal, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. If the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall you make account for a lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Yasharal shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood, and strike it on the 2 side posts, and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, with the bitter herbs they shall eat it. Uyakra, Leviticus 23, 5 through 8. Yahuah's name restored. In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahuah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuah. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have a Kadash convocation. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuah 7 days. In the 7th day is a Kadash convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. Therefore, the days of unleavened bread begin at Passover. Let's see if the other translations get it right. All other translations of Acts 12:4 I've shown you say Passover, except for the KJV and the American KJV. Let's look at the Yabani and the Abrit words for Acts 12:4. The Yabani word is G3957, Pascha. The Abrit word is H6453, Pasach. Therefore, even in the Yabani and the Abrit, the word should be Passover. So who is Easter? I'm glad you asked. Istra, or Ostara, is a Germanic goddess who, by the way of the Germanic month bearing her name, Estramunab, is the namesake of the festival of Easter in some tongues. Isra is attested solely by Bede in his 8th century work, The Reckoning of Time, where Bede states that during Estramunab, the equivalent of April, pagan Anglo-Saxons had held feasts in Esra's honor, but that this tradition had died out by his time, replaced by the Christian Paschal month, a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus. So why do Christians use the bunny and the egg to symbolize their so-called Resurrection Sunday? Let's find out. Bunny rabbits stem from pagan tradition, specifically the festival of Isra, a goddess of fertility whose animal symbol was a bunny. Rabbits, known for their energetic breeding, have traditionally symbolized fertility. The egg, an ancient symbol of new life, has been associated with pagan festivals celebrating spring. From a Christian perspective, Easter eggs are said to represent Jesus' emergence from the tomb and resurrection. Easter, aka Ostara, is sometimes referenced in modern popular culture and is venerated in some forms of Germanic neo-paganism. In the Orthodox and Eastern Catholic churches, Easter eggs are dyed red to represent the blood of Christ, with further symbolism being found in the hard shell of the egg symbolizing the sealed tomb of Christ, the cracking of which symbolized his resurrection from the dead. But why would Christians dye their eggs red and use bunnies in their so-called religion? Let's talk about Nimrod, once again the father of the modern mystery religions. The mystery religion, paganism's backstory. Nimrod was killed because of his violence and iniquity against the true and living Yahuah, and his body was cut in pieces and sent to various parts of his kingdom. His wife/mother told the people of Babylon that Nimrod had ascended to the sun and was now to be called Baal, the sun god. Semiramis was creating a mystery religion, and with the help of Satan, she set herself up as a goddess. Semiramis claimed that she had immaculately conceived. She taught that the moon was a goddess that went through a 28-day cycle and ovulated when full, and that she had come down from the moon in a giant moon egg that fell into the Euphrates River at sunrise at the time of the first full moon after the spring equinox on what pagans call Sunday, dedicated to the sun god Baal. Semiramis became known as Ishtar, pronounced Easter, referred to as Ashtaroth in the scriptures, and her moon egg became known as Ishtar's egg. One of her titles was the Queen of Heaven, and two of her fertility symbols were the rabbit and the egg. She soon became pregnant and claimed that it was the rays of the sun god Baal, the ascended Nimrod, that caused her to conceive. The son that she brought forth was named Tammuz. Tammuz was believed to be the son of the sun god Baal, previously known as Nimrod. Tammuz, like his supposed father, became a hunter. The day came when Tammuz was killed by a wild pig. Queen Ishtar told the people that Tammuz was now ascended to his father, Baal, and that the two of them would be the worshippers in the sacred candle or lamp flame as Father, Son, and Mother Spirit, aka the Holy Trinity. Ishtar, who is now worshipped as the Mother of God and the Queen of Heaven, continued to build her mystery religion. The queen told the worshippers that when Tammuz was killed by the wild pig, some of his blood fell on the stump of an evergreen tree, and the stump grew into a full tree overnight. This made the evergreen tree sacred by the blood of Tammuz. She also proclaimed a 40-day period of time of sorrow for each year prior to the anniversary of the death of Tammuz. During this time, no meat was to be eaten. This is what became known as Lent in Roman Catholic tradition. Thus it became a man-made tradition to lament over the death of Tammuz. Even Yahshay forsook the Torah of Yahuah and partook in this pagan ritual. Yahuah's call, Ezekiel 8:12-14, Yahuah's name restored. Then he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Yahshay do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, Yahuah seeth us not, Yahuah has forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahuah's house, which was towards the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Lent is the 40-day period of weeping for Tammuz. Worshippers were to meditate upon the sacred mysteries of Baal and Tammuz, and to make the sign of the cross in front of their hearts as they worshipped. They also ate sacred cakes with the marking of a T or a cross on top. Thus are times hot cross buns. Jeremiah 7:16-19. Yahuah's name restored. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Yehudah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other Elohim, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, saith Yahuah? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? It was also common for pagans to bake cakes to offer to the Queen of Heaven on her Norse name Freya's Day, aka Good Friday, before the Easter festival. The pagan Roman Catholic Church whitewashed the image of Easter and named her Mary, Queen of Heaven, still keeping the beginning of the festival as Good Friday. Every year on the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the spring equinox, a celebration was made. It was Ishtar Sunday and was celebrated with rabbits and eggs. Ishtar also proclaimed that because Tammuz was killed by a pig, that a pig must be eaten on that sun god day. Thus began the abominable Easter ham. Ishtar, Semiramis, widow of Nimrod, mother of Tammuz, came to be represented as the bare-breasted pagan fertility goddess of the East. The original pagan festival of Easter was a sex orgy that celebrated the return of life via the fertility of Ishtar's conception of Tammuz. Worshippers of the Babylonian religion celebrated the conception of Tammuz on the first Sunday after the full moon that followed the spring equinox. They celebrated it with baking cakes to Ishtar, getting drunk, engaging in sex orgies, and prostitution in the temple of Ishtar, aka Easter. Women were required to celebrate the conception of Tammuz by lying down in the temple and having sex with whoever entered. The man was required to leave her money. Babies were sacrificed in the honor of these pagan devils, and their blood was consumed by the worshippers. The priests of Easter would sacrifice infants and take the eggs of Easter as symbols of fertility and dye them in the blood of the sacrificed babies. The Easter eggs would hatch on December 25th, 9 months later, the same day her son Tammuz, the reincarnate sun god, would be born. This is where the practice of coloring Easter eggs came from. Many babies would be born around December 25th from the sex orgies that began on the feast of Ishtar in the spring, and many of these babies would be sacrificed the following Easter feast. Blood sacrifices are still made to Easter to this day. Brace yourselves, as I will now show you the satanic ritual calendar. Notice that Easter falls on Sunday, April 21st this year of 2019. If you scroll down to the satanic ritual calendar, which shows Good Friday, you have sacrifices of blood, and April 21st begins abduction, ceremonious sacrifices, and things of the like, even human sacrifices. So who is Easter? She is Gaia, Astaroth, Ishtar, Artemis, Venus, Aphrodite, Semiramis, Nature, Great Mother, Frigga, Libertas, Estra, Durga, Hathor, and the Queen of Heaven. Easter has nothing to do with the Lamb of Yah that was slain for our crimes against his Torah. Nothing. Yahuah has commanded all generations to guard and remember his feast of Passah and all his other feasts. Yahuah Yahshay is the same today, yesterday, and forever. His word is unchangeable. Like, share, and subscribe to Watchmen of Yahuah for more videos like these. Yahuah Barakatah Ushamarata. Ahaba Ushalam, Watchman Yahshay.